Hello everyone. So continuing our discussion on validation of the model assumptions. So model assumptions fall in two general classes we have seen in the last video. So what are those two classes mean? Structural assumptions and the data assumptions. So structural assumptions, it is based on how actually the system operates and usually what it involves, simplification and abstraction of the reality. For example, consider the customer queuing and service facility in a bank. Customers may form one line or there may be individual line for each teller. So if there are many lines, customer may be served strictly on a first come first served basis, or some customers may change lines if one is moving faster. The number of tellers may be fixed or variable. These structural assumptions should be verified by actual observations during appropriate time period together with discussions with managers and tellers regarding bank policies and actual implementation of this policy. So what this example states is that if there is a bank and there are customers who are forming a queue in order to get serviced by the service providers in the bank. So there may be like two or more queue or a single queue. On the bank policies, so whatever the bank people decide, so based on that the customers will be served. So if there is only one customer line or a queue, then everyone has to queue in that line and they have to get serviced on first come first served basis. If there are more than two lines or more than one line, then the whichever line is moving fast, so the customer can come and join in that line based on the policies of the bank, if they allow them to come and join. So all these are dependent on the facilities which are provided by the bank. So what actually the services or the facilities which are being provided by the bank are nothing but the structural assumptions. So next is data assumptions. Data assumptions should be based on the collection of reliable data and correct statistical analysis of the data. So data assumptions is based on collection of reliable data. So data assumptions means based on what type of data we are going to collect. For example, if it is a bank, then how many people will be getting served per day, how many service providers are there, so what is the time taken for each of the servers. So all these are the data which are being given to the model builder. So here we are dependent, or it is based on the collection of the, that is the data assumption, it is based on the collection of the reliable data and correct statistical analysis of the data. So data were collected on inter-arrival. Here also we take the example of the bank. Inter-arrival, so how the data was collected? It was collected based on the inter-arrival times of the customers during several 2-hour period of peak loading. So that is called like the rush hour. Yeah, during in the traffics and all, we mention about the rush hours when the traffic will be more here. Similarly, here also in the bank we can tell that 2 hours will be considered as a rush hours, and during that time we are collecting the data of inter-arrival time of the customers. So inter-arrival time during the slack period. Slack period means like not a rush hour. Service times for the commercial accounts. So there are different types of accounts in the bank which a customer can hold. So it may be either a personal account or it may be a commercial account based on his business. So here what is the service time required for the commercial accounts and what is the service time required for the personal accounts. So all these data can be collected for the data assumptions or validation of the data. The procedure for analyzing input data consists of 3 steps. So whatever data has been considered as the input data, so for that, for analyzing of those type of data, it consists of 3 steps. We see what are they. Identifying the appropriate probability distribution, estimating the parameters of the hypothesized distribution, validating the assumed statistical model by goodness of fit test such as the chi-square test, KS test, and by the graphical methods. So here identifying the appropriate probability distribution. So what are the different probability distributions we have? So based on that we can identify what type of data it is. So estimating the parameters of the hypothesized distributions, validating the assumed statistical models by goodness of fit test. Whatever data we have obtained, whether it is satisfying the goodness of fit tests like chi-square test, KS test, or some by the some graphical methods. So once we have validated it, validating input output transformation. So in this phase of validation process, the model is viewed as input output transformation. That is, whatever input we are going to give, it is converting it into some output. So it is transforming the input into output. So we call it as validating input output transformation. That is, the model accepts the values of the input parameters and transforms these inputs into the output measures of performance. It is this correspondence that is being validated. That is, what input parameters will be transformed into what output parameters, such that the performance will be increased. So that is nothing but the process of validating. Instead of validating the model input output transformation by predicting the future, the modeler may use past historical data. So instead of predicting the future, we can go for the historical data which has been served for validation purposes. That is, if one set has been used to calibrate the model, it's recommended that a separate data test can be used as final validation test. So in calibration, that is nothing but the step-by-step analysis or step-by-step testing. So there, if we are going to use some set of data, the same set of data cannot be used in the final validation test. So different data should be used in the final validation test, such that we go for achieving more performance efficiency. So here, thus accurate prediction of the past may replace prediction of the future for purpose of validating the future. A necessary condition for input-output transformation is that some version of the system under study exists, so that the system data under at least one of the input condition can be collected to compare the model prediction. So if the system is in planning stage and no system operating data can be collected, complete input output validation is not possible. So if it is only in the planning stage, then we cannot go for the complete input output validation. So it is not at all possible. So if everything is ready, if it is in a working condition, then only we can go for the input output validation, else it is not possible. So here we have different things which has to be considered if we are going for the validation of the input output transformation. So first thing is that the model should accept the values of the input parameters and transform these inputs into the output measures of performance. Instead of validating the model input output transformation by predicting the feature, we have to go for the historical data which already we have, and we can serve the validation purpose. So that is, during calibration we go for using some of the data again and again for testing after the system has been improved. So but that is not required in the final validation of the system. So instead of that, we can go for new set of data each and every time. Thus, accurate prediction of the past may replace prediction of the future for purpose of validating in future. So whatever predictions has been made for the past data, so that may not be used in order to predict for the future or validating the future. A necessary condition for input-output transformation is that some version of the system under study exists, so that the system data under at least one set of input condition can be collected to compare the model prediction. So if the system is in planning stage and no system operating data can be collected, complete input output validation is not possible. Complete input output validation when the data or when the model has been completely built and it is in the operating condition. If it is not in the operating condition, then we doesn't go for this input output validation. So it is not possible. So next is input output validation using historical input data. So there are two things. One is by using the historical input data, and one more thing which we go for predicting for the future, predictions for the future. So here in this type of validation, input output validation, we are going to use the historical input data. So what actually it is, we will see one by one. When using artificially generated data as input data, the modeler expects the